Hi folks, Tenacious Earl here, and we're going to get started with the 22nd tournament of this third Tenacious Golf Tour season. We're at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut for the Connecticut Challenge. This is more or less an invitational. Top 125 players get a chance to tackle this TPC course. TPCs are courses that tend to be designed for the viewer in mind as much as anything. The person who goes to the course. A lot of the course design and different techniques for building the course around it. They try to make maybe bowls where you have some natural gallery areas and things like that. So, that's kind of what these courses are like. And we're not going to see the course today. But what we will do is try and do a run through of this this first 3-round procedure that we have in History Maker Golf. And speaking of which, I need to go get the game. It's always good to prepare, and in this case, I didn't prepare. So, nonetheless, it won't take long to get this thing going. Actually, I already have done some of the pre-work, I will say that. Mostly in terms of setting up the field. So take a look here at our Google Drive folder, and I've got under events here all these events, and down here is the Connecticut Challenge. I don't know why they didn't call it Connecticut. It looks like Connecticut to me. So I guess that's just those crazy New Englanders. No offense to any of you New Englanders, but so how did I decide on the field? Well, I went to my stats spreadsheet and I pulled up the top 125. I figured out what numbers they are in terms of the priority list, which you can see over here is PR for priority, and then here is the list of numbers. So 1 here is Emmerich. So this is because this is considered a special tier. It's still a B tier, but it's kind of a special. The way that this figures it out is different than the other ones, because it's going to take whatever numbers are in this list that you see there. It's 125 numbers, and it'll pick those golfers. So it's going to be a mixture. Basically, anybody who we've seen in any of these broadcasts is probably going to be a part of this tournament. So you could see one winner from last year who has yet to really have a good tournament in this season. Harley Villanueva, he is not playing in this. You can see him unchecked there, so he wasn't in the list. But so what we do first here is I take these. This is a random number generator. I'm going to copy and paste this. So this is the way that I do. I'm going to paste values. Let me see. Did I set this up? I think I did. Yeah. Maybe I don't have a target score. Oh, I do have previous score. Oh, you know what? I always forget to check this. If A, B, 11 equals 0. It shouldn't be if it equals 0. If it equals a blank space there. So now it should be fine. So I got a little calculation off the screen here that takes these two numbers and decides if we're going to switch, how much we're going to change this previous score, which we aren't going to change it at all. And it automatically tosses in here, it figures out the cut, which is just a pretty minor, I don't know, not a very scientific calculation, I don't think. I don't even remember how I did that, but hi Darren, good to see you. Thanks for your emails this week, and hopefully this is a somewhat a treat. It's a Wednesday night, and I decided just to go ahead and get this thing off the ground. And I don't know if I'll do the whole final round this weekend, but I will probably. I mean, I'll do the whole final round. I don't know if how much of it I'll show. Maybe the back 9. So then what I have here, these are all the dice rolls. So I'm just gonna. What did I just? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Undo. I meant copy, and now we'll paste. So it just changed the numbers. Oh well. So anybody who might have gotten lucky there might not get lucky this time. So anyway, we'll see. All right, so this is basically just setting up for all these groupings for the morning rounds, the afternoon rounds, and the third round, the 7 third round, plus the outstanding golfers. It just sets up their roles. And basically, this is all set. We come over here to the cut round, and if everything works according to plan, we'll go into extensions, macros, and do paste values cut. There. And that sets it up. So these lists are shorter than other times because I'm only using 125 golfers. But basically that macro just goes in and does a randomization of all of those, all of the field. So we get to have a nice clean randomization that is done without the ugly, potentially lopsided dice or whatever. And I would say that I'm sure that there are purists out there. I tend to be a purist. I at times think I would just as soon be using the dice, but there are just so many advantages to this at this point. That I've done this so many times that I just feel like I'd rather save myself a little bit of time. This does a lot of the number crunching on its own and just makes it easier. So each golf grouping here, morning first group, says, this isn't like a group that you see on, like if you were to watch Golf Channel, they show the first 2 rounds on Thursday and Friday, and they're twosomes. Well, this is only supposed to approximate it. So you figure this is like the first, what do we got? So we have threesomes here, although this isn't exact. This is like the first 3 threesomes off on Thursday, right? Thursday and Friday. They all stay together. They just, like one day it's usually they play in the morning, and then the other day they play in the afternoon. It's just kind of the way it goes. But we have this roll up here is 12, so that's the first roll. And what that is draw 1 golfer. So we're going to take the first guy on the list. So this would be like, so again, let's explain this for anybody who's new to this game. If you're gonna come up with your field. So we have 125. So if you were gonna do this manually, you'd have to make sure that your 125 golfers the cards are in a pile. And then you'd want to split that pile into 2, a morning and an afternoon. And you'd want to make sure that those are all shuffled before you do this. Morning and afternoon piles. And then you take the morning pile, the morning half, and then you split them into 8 roughly equivalent piles. They don't have to be exact. In this case, we have them pretty exact for the most part. You can see there on afternoon 6, 7, and you can't see 8 there, but those are 1 less than the others. I have yet to implement where I can randomize where those golfers are, those piles that have 1 short. So you put them into the piles, then you roll, and then from that roll, so in this case 12, it's going to say, okay, we're going to draw 1 golfer. So in your case, you would take the top card off the pile and look at it and say, oh, well, this is going to be this guy here. And so I have M for made the cut, O for outstanding, and W for withdraw. This is if we get the ugly 11, which I do see one already on here. So that's where you could get an injury. So that's why we have withdraw from the tournament. But in this case, this guy here, 3C, Benicio Vazquez will make the cut. And then we choose the top remaining golfers. So then we got to look at these other numbers right here, and we analyze which one is the top golfer. So the lower the first number, the best. If there's a tie among the first number, then you factor in the letter that comes after, and the higher in the alphabet. So A is better than B is better than C. If there's ties between, so if you have two 1Cs, in this case we only have one, but if you had two 1Cs in this particular part of the tournament, you take both of them in. You take your ties. So, but in this case we only have the one, so it's 1C, and that is Sucheng Tien. Well, thanks, Darren. I hope this helps people keep a it gives you some perspective, hopefully, on how to do this, and helps to condense some of this stuff into hopefully under an hour. So now we just go to 26, and I would show you the chart, but purchase the game, and then you have the chart and you can follow along at home. I tend to like to keep some semblance of proprietary information kind of behind the curtain, so that people are encouraged to go buy this game. Again, History Maker Golf is the game. Play Classic, PLAAY Classic is the website.com, and you can have a lot of fun yourself. So we're going to draw 4. So we'll take, where'd my cursor go? There you are. 4 of these guys. 2, 3, 4. So Jurgen Biermann, Marcus Simanowicz, the younger Simanowicz, Alan Duvall, and Ji-Woon Ko, and then we got the top 2 remaining, and that's going to be these 2A golfers, Evan Aldrich and Martin Van Dyke. So that's that. Now 16, we then have 5 golfers that we draw, so this is going to be a lot of random golfers here. So Demelmeyer, Runyon, Thorson, Mann, and Ramirez. And then a single top golfer. That's going to be this 2C, Carson Riddell. We've seen him quite a bit here in the last several tournaments. Pretty good for a 2C. Now another 16, so we're going to take 5. And then the top 1. So Sang, Sorn, Washburn, Bauer, Sommers. Is something not right here? Something's not right. This is not right at all. Maybe he is. Maybe Heath Summers is a 3A. I feel like he's not. He is a 3A. What the heck? Maybe that's why he's been a bit quiet here this season. I didn't realize he was a 3A. Good grief. They really smacked him around in this season. Anyway, Sommers, Slattery, Greer Copeland III. That's going to be that 4th morning group. And then we'll do 4 for we have a lot of 6s here. So we're going to get these 4. Dale George, Shinji, Kanishi, Honorado, Janice, former winner on tour, and then we get the top 2. But it's going to be 3 because we get the 2B, and then we got a tie for the second one at 3C. So big group there. We've taken a lot of these guys so far. Now we're going to get to 13, so this is a little bit better. So we're going to draw a 2. And then the top. So Aaron's, Sheridan Cook, and then we get this 1B, and that's it out of this group. Enrique, the Spaniard. And now 44 is going to be draw 1, top 4. It's a pretty weak group here. So 3B, a couple 3Cs, and a couple 4Bs. Wow, we're getting most of that group in there. We're getting a high number of golfers today. So 45 is going to be draw 1 of the top 4, 2B, 3A, and 2 4As. All right. Frizard, Schwano, Cho, Yielding, Saxer, Holt. I guess I didn't mention these guys. Sudbury, Hirano, Nijima, Hope, Mackay Berry, Denny Bedwetter, I mean. Little joker from back in the day. What are we at? We're at 41. We're a little heavy right now, so we're hoping that we cut it back here in the afternoon a bit. But we got a 6 there. Got a lot of 5s, man. It's gonna be really close to 80 here probably. Draw 4, and then the top 1 with a 15. So there's Aberley and Westinghouse, and this guy here is Justin Wallace. Okay, 46. Draw 1, and then the top 4. So we got a 2A, a 3A, a 3A, and a 3C. Yeah, I think, maybe Heath is, I don't know what his age range is here in the game. I could get out my little bio spreadsheet if I wanted to. Probably will do that for the tournament. Let's see. Summers. Uh-oh, where's the third page? Where is the third page? Is this it? $32. No. Needs to trim back green gaffs to regain status as top Aussie. Oh, and my bad. That box hit this. So it sounds like he's just kind of gotten into a funk there. His putting has gone sour. Okay, so 15, you're going to get top 4 again. Or no, draw the 4 and the top 1. So we do have a few custom cards in here. Dwayne Bradshaw's one. Rogelio Ryan's one. All right, so another 15 here. We're going to draw 4. And then this 2B is the top one. Hey, we get Zephaniah Scott. How about that? Still has a chance to win. Jason Huffman and Isaiah Rogers are both custom cards. 44. This is a draw 1 and then the top 4. 1C, 2C, 3A, and a couple 3Bs. We have 3 left. We're at 65. We got to keep it under 5 apiece. But we got 11 here. So this is draw golfer injury, I believe, is the. So I got to find that injury chart in here. There you are. Draw golfer exits tournament. So 3A is going to be withdrawn. Celestino Garcia. And I'm going to roll a couple of dice. Well, you know what? I can show you this one because it's available on the interwebs. So can you see that? 35. So he's out till further notice with a hip injury. So Celestino is getting old and he breaks his hip. So poor guy. Let me go back to this screen here and we'll go to this guy. This is our main spreadsheet. where we track the schedule and all the other goodies, except for stats, because the stats eats up a lot of resources and it slows it way down. But we've got TFNs, and this is going to be a till further notice. Hip injury. So we're going to go 2020 Connecticut challenge, and who was it? It was Celestino. He's exempt. It's going to be hip injury. All right, so Leon Bay comes off of his 4 blue chip deal. We'll just leave that main guy up there in case we have something else. All right, so then the top golfer makes the cut. So it's this 1A, and the 1A is Trent McAdams. So that's only 1 out of that one, so that's good. 35, we're going to take 2, draw. And then, what? Top 3. 1, 2, 3. Gareth Leonard, Jay Laufenberg, Bob Kleckner. Have we gotten... Oh, there's Emmerich at 5. I was going to say, I don't remember him, but he's a 1C now. He's not one of those 1As. So now 55. The top 5 golfers. How many do we have left? 73. So that'll get us to 78 if we don't have any ties. Top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 78 golfers going to make the cut, and none of them are outstanding. So we're going to have 7 piles without, and no outstanding pile. So these guys are all going to get grouped in. We're going to go over to this 3rd round chart. I'm going to come up here to this macro and do the 3rd round. So they are stuffed to the gills, aren't they? Are we actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, no. Isn't that crappy? That's terrible. Of all the days, it's this one. So I've got because I have no outstanding golfers, I have 78, and I have 7 piles, and there's 11, so that 11 and 7 is 77, so I'm missing somebody here. So, oh my goodness. All right. Is there any recourse here? Anything I could do to just, because I'm... boy, I don't know if I can fix this sucker. Not within like 5 minutes. It's going to take 20 minutes. Oh, Nelly. Why couldn't we have had 1 outstanding? Well, in the time I could be debating this, I'm going to fix it. So this is gonna remove all of the it's gonna remove all of the mystique, but let's fix it. All I needed to do was basically add 1 more in here, right? So let's copy so there's nothing there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys and go like this. Ah, shoot. Why do I have one here that's missing? Oh, because I added them. That's why. That's stupid. I added this. I inserted cells here. Oh boy. Well, fair enough. We'll just do this. We're gonna that fix it. Okay. All right. So let's copy and paste formula only. Brings cola check. All right. Will we eventually, let's see if we eventually get our extra golfer in here. Yeah, we need to oh, there's this little number here too. See, I got all this stuff hidden here, and this is what makes it tick. And unfortunately, I forgot to, I didn't do the math in my head to say, oh, I need to have enough for when I have upwards of 80, right? It's kind of why you need to do the math in your head. So let's see. I'm gonna have to do the same thing here. We're gonna insert a row above, and then I'm gonna take these guys, and this thing will quit lagging. Why do I have that many there? Why do I have that many there, guys? There's no outstanding. Oh, because of that. Because it says, yeah. So... Alright, that's good. That gets us where we're going. So we're still looking at, what I need to do is this, and one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still 11 there. I don't know. Maybe I'm still gonna have to do one more trick to get it ready to go here. Paste formula. Ooh. Why did we not pull that one? Why are we only having 77 there? That's weird. Right? Oh. There's another one missing there. That's why. Alright, now we should be good. We should have Ingram here. Yep, there we go. Best laid plans, fellas. Best laid plans. And now we got so much information going on here. It's just locking up. Fun, fun, fun. It's slick a lot of the times, you know. But then we have these particular. Every once in a while, we have one of these cases where something just throws a curveball in. Ah, there's our extra one. There we go. See that? We got an extra guy there. It's 12. And now this is our outstanding, which has nothing. So hide. Let's hide all this. You guys got to see all the fancy schmancy stuff that you may or may not understand, but maybe someday I will do a bit more of a deep dive into what all this crap does. But just trying to get a tournament going here, and I'm running into snags. Still got more to hide. Go hide. Where else do we gotta hide these guys too? And this guy. Oh, you jerk. Okay, we're almost ready to go. So we've got our extra one there. Now, if you can remember where all those golfers are at the moment, then more power to you guys. You guys have a lot better brain power than I do. I was pretty much was intentionally trying not to pay attention to this, so that way I'm legitimately surprised when we go to 16 and we look at 16 on the completing the third round. So in this case, instead of having your morning and afternoon, the whole field split into two, and you do it that way, then you take all of the ones that made the cut and you shuffle them up, and you make 7 piles of those, and then the ones that are outstanding you would keep separate and make the 8th. And then you just do the same thing. You roll dice, go to completing the third round. 16 says draw golfer contends with A-, so it's going to be this guy. I have this little pull down, and it's Denny Rowetter, and he's going to get a perk issue, which is kind of cool. Top golfer contends with A, so the top golfer here is 1B. John Westinghouse. Others finish with D+. So I go up here and I put in the D+. Now what you would have is you'd have all sorts of cards laid out on your table that come with the game that have different letter grades, and you would put the rest of the cards on D+, and that would be the way you do it. This is how I do it that way. Okay, so gonna have to hurry here because we're starting to run low on time. 33 is top golfer is A. So we go through, and the top golfer is 1C. So he's gonna be an A, and also gets a 33 gets a perk. Everybody else is gonna finish with C. And I didn't do... Stupid thing. I hate it when you do one of those pay special and you click the wrong one. There. It's Justin Wallace. There we go. Okay, 16. Draw a golfer A-. We already saw that. Boy, this is going to be a bit of a week. Clive Kenny. Bit of a week leaderboard in certain regards. Okay, top golfer A. 1A is going to be A. That is Rance Aberley. No, he doesn't get a perk or issue. Everybody else D+. We've had a repeat number here now. 11. I'm going to get an A+. The top golfer is A+, and it's 1B. Is this... Who is this? Su Cheng Tian, maybe? Shinji Kanishi. And he gets a perk or issue. Others contend with B+. We're going to get some B+. We're going to have the 12 all completed for sure out of this. 34, top golfer A-. That is going to be 2A with no perk or issue. Low golfer D-. That's 6A. And then others, more B+. So we're going to have a bevy of B+ here. 24, top golfer contends with A. 1A. It's going to be Trent McAdams, right? Gotta be. Gets a perk or issue, and others at C+. And then 33, top golfer with A. 1C. Is this Emmerich? It is. Perk issue. He's looking for his first victory this year. Others finished with C. And that's it. No outstanding. So we'll go to the final round setup over here. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I changed the name of this to Cut Round. So here's something. This is a very handy function. Here we go to find and replace. So we're going to go apostrophe new cut, and instead we're going to put apostrophe cut because it's not new cut round, it's cut round. And we're going to also search within formula. Going to replace all. And that should fix all this. So all this is doing is it's calculating where people, like in this B+ especially, where people land, where these golfers land in the priority ranking, and it's going to sort them and give us who should be the most interesting golfers of the groups. So now I have these perks and issues, have a lot of them. So I go by this. I'm going to turn my chart over. Hey, Brandon. Good to see you. Yeah, Bedwetter is back at the game that he loves. 2 and 2 is going to be Gain Stormy. So the Bedwetter didn't wake up in time last night. Going into that final round, left him a little waterlogged. Well, maybe it's not water. So now we got 1-3. That's going to be start with 4 blue chips. Okay. Clive Kenny 4 and 2. Stormy till further notice. So we're going to have to add that to the chart before we go off here. Shinji Kanishi 4 and 1. He gains Sunny not till further notice. So Kanishi will be Sunny. Trent McAdams with a 2 and a 6. Gain extra control. He's going to be tough to beat. Dustin Emmerich 2 and 4. Start with 6 red chips. And his bad luck continues. So let's come back over here to our till further notice. And this was Clive Kenny. I think he's exempt. Gain Stormy. So we have an extra control coming off the chart here. Let's go back here. We should see our final groupings. And something is... Oh, so let me give you one more little thing that goes on in this chart here. So we have the B pluses. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So we need 4 golfers. Now, we're going to get the 4 to get the 12 out of this B plus. But what happens first is we roll a decider die. So this is all decider die. Basically, it's a... If you see false, the decider die is no. If you see true, it's yes. So first off, anybody that's false gets taken out. Now, Samson Peterson is ranked 4th. Is that correct? Let's double check this. He is, because he won... I don't remember which tournament he won. Maybe Hilton Head? Anyway, it was a tournament that was pretty high up. So he's going to be in these final pairings, right? There he is, Samson Peterson. So we basically take all these true guys, and it's going to be 4. It's going to be Dwayne Bradshaw. It's going to be Franz Ockel, and it's going to be probably Fabio, right? Fabio. So that's how we get this rounded out. So now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to take this guy and put that up here, and I'm just going to actually, we're going to do something. Let's what are we going to do? Let's reset this. And up there in the right hand corner, you can see the URL. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink the screen now to focus on these guys over here. So this is going to be our golfers. And I'm going to get out my cards right here. And we'll get them all lined up. So I keep them in 4 baggies. Got A through G here. So here's Fabio Antonucci. Got Rance Aberley is another one. Dustin Emmerich. There you are. Dwayne Bradshaw, he should be in here somewhere. There you are. Okay. That looks like 4 of the guys. And we got H. Franz Ockel is right on top of that guy. H to L. So we got Hockle, Kanishi. Do we have Clive? We do have Clive Kenny. There he is. Konishi, right? Shinji Kanishi. Anybody else? Nope. Alright. Go to M to R. We're going to get Bedwetter out of this bunch. As well as good old Trent McAdams. Okay, Rowetter, Samson Peterson. Name we haven't seen much this year, but he's going to get a run out. And I think Westinghouse and Van Dyke are the only ones left. So we're past the hump here this week. It's nice to be on the downhill side of the work week. There's Westinghouse. Martin Van Dyke is right here. That should get everybody. So, let me know if you've got any fun stuff going on the rest of the week through either your work or through your home. So now we can go ahead and shrink this guy just a tad. So we got Bradshaw, Hockle, and Antonucci. Clive Kenny. Van Dyke and Peterson. And we have the shocker, John Westinghouse. We've got Emmerich and we've got Bedwetter. And then leading it off here with the A+ is going to be Shinji Kanishi. We've got the Abacus and McAdams. And now, while I'm still here, let's go ahead and rework this guy a bit so we get our leaderboard back up here. We can take a look at the leaderboard before we close her down today. We'll put it up there. We'll adjust it next time. So this is what the leaderboard looks like. Kanishi, because of the decider die roll, he's only 1 ahead of Aberley and McAdams, 2 ahead of Emmerich and Westinghouse, and 3 up on Kenny and Rowetter and Martin Van Dyke. So Bradshaw, we got a bunch of guys there at -3. They're 5 back. They're going to have to make a charge. And I have yet to decide how much of the final round I will show on here. Maybe I'll just go ahead and just make it a full blown let's do her. And you know, we're heading towards good old US Open time here, right? We got Connecticut, and we got a C tier at Deer Run, basically Quad Cities Open territory. And then we're going to, actually not American Open, we already had Trent McAdams win that. That's the championship of the UK. Going to be going over to Royal St. George's. Kanishi, who is leading this tournament, is going to be trying to defend that. And then that's going to bring us to those final tournaments to get to Kiowa Island and the Tenacious Pro Showcase, the equivalent PGA Championship. I decided early on in this particular season that what we were going to do, actually before the season, was we were going to eliminate a playoff and we're just going to do straight up PGA Championship makes sense as the final tournament. They should have done it on the PGA because they didn't. They're stupid, but it's okay. It's okay to be stupid on occasion. We all make mistakes. Maybe someday they'll fix it. They probably don't want to because they probably figure, oh, we not only get ratings for the PGA Championship, but then we get ratings maybe for the playoff, which is pseudo-contrived where that final championship game you're given somebody a head start. You're giving some guys head starts, and it just kind of like gets a little crazy. But Brandon has got a bunch of... He's judging stuff. He is a band dude on many levels. Musician, teacher, judge, MC, jack of all trades, and something that, there are times I wish I could turn my musicianship into a career. At this point, I would just be happy with going out and playing in front of people. I get to play at church every week, so I do have that. I mean, that is something worth something for sure. Not everybody's cup of tea, but let's what are we gonna do here? Well, let's do it. There we go. But I am getting into I've been in a little bit of a punk alternative group for now a few months, and I'm looking forward to, once we get towards warmer weather, maybe being able to play out a couple times, and that should be interesting because am I staying busy? Well, I mean, obviously having work, that's busy. Having a family, that's not as busy as it once was, but it's still pretty busy. I serve on the band at church like twice a month at this point, so I have that going for me. Like I said, I have this, which you can give me flack for the fact that a church band and some of the lyrics that I have to sing for a punk band are not exactly the most pious lyrics in the world. So we do what we have to do. I'm having fun. It's a fun outlet, and I like the idea that there was a book called The Shack, and I never really got the whole way through that book. But I did get to the point where the God figure, we'll say the caricature of God presented in that book was a black woman, and I think she was listening to like gangster rap. And the point is that like all of this stuff is like God's creation, right? I mean, if we believe in God being all powerful and omnipotent and omniscient, then everything, like, he loves everybody, right? Do we disappoint him? Sure. Does he exist apart from sin? Yeah, he's the antithesis of sin, but I think there's always hope, I guess, is what. Oh boy, we've got one of Vladdy's guys. He thinks that we're on the Ukraine border. I think. Look out below. So playing HMG and watching golf. That's a good tandem. I try to catch the final few holes on Sundays. I didn't see if Neiman finished out the whatever they call that one at Riviera. I know that I think that's the last one on the West Coast, and then they're going back probably to Florida, start their run of tournaments down there, leading up to like the Sawgrass. But yeah, pretty busy. It's all good though. I've been busy on the tabletop too. I've been playing a lot of Atlas Soccer. I need to play more of the games here on the channel. You know, I get concerned about views and that I don't think people are interested, but it's like, how is anybody going to find out that they are or aren't interested if you don't do them, right? How is somebody who's a soccer fan ever going to think to themselves, man, there might be a soccer game that's with dice that actually does a pretty dang good job of replicating the sport. And ABBA Soccer, I mean, it's pretty good. It's funny. So Neiman did win. That's cool. I was flipping back and forth between that and the Daytona 500. I can't watch NASCAR, man. I just can't do it. Even the Daytona 500, they've ruined that sport so much. And you know, I got a lot of joy out of it as a kid, you know, but it was, you know, it's like watching professional wrestling. It is fun when you feel like it's believable, right? When there is, like, if it was Tom Cruise and like Pee Wee Herman, like the champions of professional wrestling, there's no way anybody would give that. It would fail miserably, even if there was some comedy for whatever reason, right? Just nobody would believe it. So you've got all these little young whippersnappers from California running stock cars. I mean, the whole point of stock cars was these guys knew how to build a freaking engine themselves. They knew what taking a round of wedge out meant. And none of these guys, Austin Cindric, I mean, come on. What is he, 22? I mean, he's been mixing shakes at the Wendy's half of his life. I mean, that's in his daddy probably got him a little go-kart, and he made his way up, and he's got a pretty face, and it's basically the Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson route to stardom. Get in with Hendrick or one of these other teams that's like a super team, and basically throw me in that car, and as long as I don't put it in the wall, with restrictor plates, all you got to do is just basically ride it to the front eventually and hope that your teammate's there to block it off. And then you win as a 22-year-old, and it really means nothing. You know, you got... Back in the day, I loved the fact that Jeff Bodine won, but then you got like Derek Cope winning a 500. I think Michael Waltrip won a 500. I mean, there was, I mean, and nothing against Michael Waltrip, but, you know... You know, back in the day, it was such a big deal that like Dale Earnhardt couldn't win that race. And then but then it's like, then as soon as it became restrictor plate, it was kind of like it's a crapshoot. Just and now they've got it even worse because they've got this like it's not even a 500 anymore because you're gonna add 2 or 3 laps onto the end because we can't end it under yellow. So it's really a 505. It's a Daytona 505 or something like that. So I was flipping between that and golf. Golf was basically, it was a blowout. It wasn't. I mean, I think Neiman may have been bogeying a little bit there on the back 9, but they had already gotten past 10, which 10 is like my favorite hole. And by the time I realized, because I had something else going on Sunday afternoon, by the time I realized they had already passed, that the golf was coming to the back nine, then it was actually past 10, which 10 is one of these like 290-yard par fours. It's just a very fun hole. Like you have a chance for eagle, and then I think 11 you might have a chance for eagle. After that, up until like 18, I think that I didn't watch it. I think 18 was really cool. It was an uphill shot, it had a slight dog leg right, somewhat a blind tee shot, and then this green was protected by a tree on the left. I think the tree might have fallen down or been like knocked down by lightning or some crazy thing like that. So now it's not even that iconic anymore. I think they have to really make it firm to add the difficulty. I mean, it does have some slope to it. I think if you miss, they end up having like the pin on a short side. So if you miss it to the left, you're in real rough shape. But I think So then I had like a Formula E race that was on that I had recorded. So that was a little interesting. But I just was kind of like flipping around between stuff. Anyway, hopefully this tournament here, Connecticut Challenge, will be a little bit more interesting than the is it the Nissan Open? I think that's what it used to be called. Basically, Tiger Woods is kind of the headline, like the marshal for that tournament now that he's, I think this was like this is around the 1 year anniversary of him having his accident, I believe. So, which I guess he's back to playing golf. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to replicate his Masters comeback. But anyway, feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions about this 3-round process. The thing that we never really get a chance to do, and I don't know how best to talk about it, because again, there's proprietary stuff about the so I've done many videos about this first 3 rounds. That's, if you haven't been able to figure that out, definitely feel free to leave a comment. But I think there's a lot of demonstrations of that. Lots and lots of demonstrations of playing the final round and kind of like going from group to group and progressing through the 18 with each group in a kind of a rotation. Then what we don't have much of is, how do we go from your final scores, how do we take the letter grades outside of B plus or B, like let's say what do we do with the B minuses and the C's and the C pluses, the C minus, and all this stuff. And it's just not easy, because again, there is some proprietary nature to the design of the game that it makes me a little bit squeamish about going into a lot of detail about it. It's in the rules. I don't think it's as tricky as it may seem, but the other thing that's really tough about it is if you're not able to use like a spreadsheet to kind of keep compiling the data, it's going to get a little awkward. I mean, if you use the point method, that's probably the most straightforward. And if you try and keep the points awarded to like a certain number, like maybe the top 20 or something, maybe that helps you keep it from being a little, too onerous. I mean, you think about Formula One, and like they only award points for the top 10 drivers in a race out of 20 at this point. So, and I think even back in the day it might have been in the top 6. So, there's ways to do it. But anyway, well, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. We're getting down towards the nitty-gritty of bedtime, past 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. So, as always, if you would hit like that would be great. Would love to see videos like this end up being tossed into golfers' feeds. People looking for golf videos, things, instructional videos. Maybe people who would like to play golf, but maybe they got injured, or they're starting to lose some of the ability to do the game in the way that they want to, and they're looking for something else. Maybe they come and find this. So if you can hit like on these types of videos, who knows? That would be maybe a pipe dream, but just for those of us who are interested in seeing tabletop games continue to grow as outlets for people, creative ways to spend their time. It's relaxing for me. I don't know about you. I find it to be something that just takes the edge off the day, with lots of stuff that happens through work and family and stuff. So if you hit like, that's great. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, always welcoming more of those. Hit the subscribe button. There's a bell if you want to get notified when I'm going live. I've been doing mostly live streams of late. I haven't decided if I do some soccer, if I'm going to do that live, or if I will record it. If I record it, the nice thing about that is I could edit out some of the more repetitive parts. But then again, the repetitive parts are what I think make soccer feel like soccer. So you're welcome, Brandon. Have a good time with your judging and your whatever. There were some. Let's see. What was the? Oh, you're emceeing the Drumline show. You're gonna be like. Yeah, I just think of that movie, the Drumline movie from. Was it Nick Cannon? Was he in that? I think he was. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks everybody. It's been great. I'm gonna put. So this is a song that is. I've had a couple different batches of lyrics I've written for this. I still haven't come to a complete finish on it. This is the music for it, so I'm going to play this out as we go. Just a little song idea that I like, so I'm going to put it on here. I got to get my mouse going and then come over here. So hope you all have a great rest of your week. Let's listen to this little ditty and let me know what you think of it. Hopefully, one of these days I put together some bunch of words that make sense and aren't ludicrous like what I usually write. So good night, everybody. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Larry, earlier, and thanks, Brandon, as we sign off here with this little ditty. It's not Jack and Diane, that's for sure.